This is part 2 of construction of a cheap layers chicken house. If you haven't watched part 1, kindly check on the link below so that you can have a systematic understanding of the events that lead into the other. Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a new video, I shall send you a link. We then start constructing of the roof. These are the truss. When you're building the truss that will hold the roof, kindly use timber that is 6'1". I mean 6 inches by 1 inches. It is not possible to get timber that will be 10 meters wide. Remember, we said our house measures 15 meters by 10 meters to host 1,500 birds, and therefore when you're building the trusses, the lower side of the truss, the timber is supposed to be 6'1", joined with an overlapping joint. Like I said in part 1 of the video, joining timber, you should use overlapping joints and reinforced so that the timber becomes strong. Now, for the apex of the truss, or rather for the V side of the truss, use lighter timber, and this should be 2 by 2, timber measuring 2 inches by 2 inches, and should be adequately supported. Like you can see, the timbers moving in the middle of the truss, forming inverted ends and inverted V's. They should be adequate enough. We then move into putting the wire mesh. This is the ventilation of the structure. All right, the ventilation, or rather the mesh, should be at least 1 meter from the ground and at least 1 meter wide. Okay, in hot areas, the mesh should not be less than 1 meter wide. Okay, you can only reduce that in hotter areas. Okay, but because of the population, you then have to use 1 meter wide. Remember, I said in part 1 of this video that this is a hot area, and therefore the house has to be at least 3 meters from the ground. All right, and therefore, because we are using pillars that are measuring 3 by 2 inches, they are not very strong. We then have to use a stronger gauge of wire mesh. All right, not the usual or regular wire mesh that we usually use. So this one is a wire mesh with a 32 gauge. All right, a bit stronger. It doesn't come as a roll, but it comes in form of slices measuring 2 meters by 1.5 meters wide. Then go ahead and start doing the walls on the width side. All right, ensure that you dig a trench so that when you are laying the walls, or rather the iron sheet, it should go into the ground. All right, this helps in preventing of predators from digging through the ground into the structure, and then they can consume the birds. All right, therefore when you're doing concrete, the concrete will overlap, then come and cover the space that has been left from the trench dug and the space by the iron sheet. Ensure that the joints of the iron sheet are smooth. One cannot easily detect the joint between one iron sheet and the other. This enhances the strength of the iron sheets pinned on the tires, or rather the timber. Okay, as that goes on, you go ahead and check on the trusses that are being constructed. Ensure that the trusses are constructed in a way that they are overlapping each other. This helps enhance the evenness, or rather the straightness, or you want to enhance a regular way of doing the truss. Then check the walls on the other side, or rather the width of the walls. This side, the wall is going to be an inverted V. All right, and therefore the center pillar on the width side has to be taller than the other pillars to the left and to the right of the pillar. All right, so as you can see, we are putting the iron sheet, but the pillars on top of the iron sheet are going to be in an increasing format from the corners to the center pillar. All right, just to give you the V side. All right, Therefore, ensure that everything or every step you take, you have an idea of the next move. You can see how our trusses are very even, all right? Very even. Actually, each truss is exactly equal to the other in terms of measurement, all right? Every single angle should be even to the other. This will help you get an even straight roof, all right? And also help you in maintaining the strength of the structure. Then carry the trusses gently into the structure, all right? By this time, we should have cut the space where we should use as the door. Then this spacing shall be used to put the trusses inside the structures, all right? We use this because the trusses have to be lifted in an inverted form or format to the upper side, all right? So ensure that you handle the trusses very, very gently, okay? They might look a bit weak, but they are strong indeed, only that you have to handle them very gently. This is because of the width of the structure. You can imagine building a truss that is at least 10 meters and a few centimeters. Then go ahead and start constructing the blouse. This is the part of the wall above the window grill, all right? Ensure that you cut iron sheet measuring at most 1 meter wide, so that you can have an even wall, all right? From the grill to the far top of the roof, this should be 1 meter. Remember, we said from the ground it's 1 meter, then the grill is another meter, then this top part is another meter. The lower part is called the skirt. Then you go to the window, which is the waist, and then you go to the upper part, which is called the blouse. So each of them should measure 1 meter, 1 meter, and 1 meter. You can see from this side, but the skirt will not measure exactly 1 meter. Remember, we said the skirt will be 1 meter from the trench that you have dug, but from this lower tier of the timber going up to the grill, it's going to be 75 centimeters, which means that 25 centimeters will go into the ground. As you can see, he's joining the iron sheet to the timber, but he's pushing the lower side using the hammer. This part is 25 centimeters into the ground for prevention of predators from digging through the structure from the walls, all right? You can see the structure starts to take shape from a distance, and you can see how we check each and every step, ensuring that it's even, straight, and uniform, just also to bring the beauty of the whole thing. Ensure that you join the iron sheet to the timber using 2 inches nail, alright, on every ridge. Go ahead and start constructing the overlapping, or rather the cape of the window. The cape of the window helps in controlling of rain, especially during a windy storm that will blow from the sides from entering the structure, or rather, the cape also helps in preventing of direct sunlight from going into the structure, then maintaining a cooling effect, all right? The cape will be just above the window grill, and you'll maintain an angle of 75 degrees from the upper timber, or rather the upper fin that is just pinned on the wall, to the wall. That angle should be 90 degrees, and you should join the wall, you should join it using timber that measures 3 by 2, that is 3 inches by 2 inches, and you should use 5-inch nails, all right, at least 2 inches, sorry, at most 2 inches to join it, so that you avoid the splitting of the nails, all right. So you have to attain an angle of 65 degrees to the edge, all right, so that you can also have the birds enjoying the morning sunlight slightly and not directly, all right. If you do it beyond 60 degrees, then it renders the window not useful because it will directly prevent flow of wind from outside to the inside. This one only helps work as a proof, a shade, proof from direct sunlight, and proof from windy storms, alright, that will blow into the structure on the sides. And always remember to use nails that cannot split the timber. This is just because, remember, our pillars were measuring 3 by 2 inches, and now we are doing the overlapping cap using 3 by 2 inches, and therefore we have to maintain the same nails. Alright, so you can see he's trying to pin it together to attain a 60 degrees angle on the inside and a 75 degrees angle on the upper side, giving it that shape. Okay, then check the strength and check to ensure that you are contented with it. We then move into the next step. Kindly watch part 3 of this video so that you can see the whole structure now coming up.